To finish early. I don't feel like Katrin needs any introduction, but we'll do it anyway. Our next speaker is Katrin Fischer from Bibliotheca Servicezentrum Baden-Württemberg, or BSZ for those of us who struggle with German pronunciation. I don't struggle with German pronunciation as much as I struggle with German grammar. That's I think that's an entire conference in itself. Katrin describes herself as a librarian by training, Koha team lead at BSZ and long-term community member. She served several roles on the release team, including QA manager and notably as release manager for Koha 2405 through to 2505, making her Koha's first woman release manager. BSZ has been providing Koha as a software as a service solution to libraries across Germany since 2009, and Katrin has been at the forefront of that work, tackling everything from German translations and documentation to RFID integration and connecting Koha to German library consortia. If you've ever signed on to a Koha mailing list or looked at community forums, you've probably seen Katrin's name. She's one of the most active contributors to the Koha ecosystem worldwide. Her presentation, From Catalogues to Community, the Journey of Koha in Germany, will share how Koha has grown and been adopted across Germany over the past 15 years. With you.
Now I'm supposed to give a presentation after Chris almost made me cry. Yay! Okay, I hope you understand me well. If not, please shout out.
Maybe lean forward a little bit.
Yeah, this is not for tall people. Okay, let's try that. I haven't practiced this one, and it's a completely new slide set. I've never given a presentation on the journey of Koha in Germany before, apparently. So I hope this goes well. And maybe to add, I was here 15 years ago for Kohacon25, and I never thought back then that I would stand up here or be a release manager. So if you're just starting your journey, you never know where it takes you. So my journey began in around 2008. So when I'm talking about history, I can only start from what I know and experienced and from what I learned from others. So there will be holes in the story. And if you see such a hole and want to send me some stuff about your library and you say we started even earlier or something like that, then please do. In order to make these slides, I've asked a lot of people, including our German mailing list, and to send me information about their libraries and some quotes about Koha. So that's what we're going to see. And I hope I did them justice when I did have to translate what they sent me. So when I started, what was there? A partial translation of the Koha catalog and staff interface that I could build on. And there was a Koha I-1810 internationalization German mailing list that was very, very quiet. In the beginning, we didn't have much contact to other libraries using Koha. Probably they were out there, but we didn't know about them. So every time I say, I think this was the first one, it's the first one I know about. So we started with the Heidelberg University of Jewish Studies. They have about 66,000 bibliographic records today in their Koha. They went live in September 2009. One of their specialties is that they have 35% of their collection is in Hebrew script, and they were one of the first libraries to catalog in Hebrew script in our Union catalog once that came available. So, of course, they wanted their library system to be able to show the Hebrew script as well and to make it possible to search for it for their students. We were asked to help them decide or find their new library system. They didn't have one before. So I went there after studying the Koha manual for 2 weeks. And we sat on a desk. There were two librarians there, one to the right, one to the left, and we were in front of one computer together, and we went to Koha, and in the end of it, I said, yes, we'll take it. So this was the start of everything for me, and I'm very grateful for the trust they put into us, into the project, and that we would manage to make it work for them. So this led to the first smaller university in Germany using Koha. It was the first library that we supported as BSZ and led to our Koha service today. And it also led to the first contributions to Koha that we made, because we had downloaded records in Hebrew to show it that it would display correctly, but what we didn't know is about the 880 fields. So they actually transliterate, and we needed to make that work as well. So that was the first contribution my then department head Wolfgang Heimans did to Koha, and I followed suit with a patch that would make the addresses in the patron record the same, like give them all the same number of fields. I didn't realize back then it was a pretty big patch for a first one, but okay, so it's history now. Today, at BSZ, we are supporting 140 Koha installations. When I was here 15 years ago, it was like 2, which was a bit embarrassing when I got asked about it. But 140 sounds much better, and we are still growing. We are a small team, and we can only do so many in a year, but we are still growing, and we get a lot of interest in Koha these days. BSZ itself is a central infrastructure facility within the portfolio of the Baden-Württemberg Ministry of Science, Research and the Arts. I really have to read that because it's hard. So we provide IT services to libraries, archives, and museums. This includes running a union catalog, interlibrary loan service, repositories, software for museums to do their inventories, and we currently actively support 2 library systems. One is Koha. So this first library led to a conference presentation at the INET-BIP Internet and Libraries Conference in Zurich in 2010. And then the librarian from Heidelberg got asked to write an article about the new building, because with the new library system, they also got a new building. It was like everything new there. But she said the new library system is much more interesting than our building, so we should do both of them together in one article. And that's what we did. There's a bit of a gap here, but lots of things happened in between, I'm sure. But one thing that stood out to me was when Robin came. He worked at BSZ, like at one of our desks for a couple of weeks, and he also went to Stuttgart with us and did speak at a Koha workshop. And that led to a lot of libraries going for Koha in the end. You can probably spot us in the picture, which is the main reason I really wanted to have this slide. It makes you realize that, yeah, we were younger once, but we still look good. Another library I didn't know about for a long time is the Wildau Public Library. They got set up and hosted by the Technical University in Wildau, and is nowadays self-hosted. I think they've been probably the first public library in Germany, as far as we know, maybe. Later on, at the Technical University, there were 2 Koha installation parties. So like they have an event where you can come to the library and spend the night there, and as part of that, they invited people to come and install Koha. And they did this twice. And now, in 2024, they themselves migrated to Koha, so they're on Koha as well now. In Germany, we have the strange thing that we don't only have companies like providing Koha support, but also public institutions like BSZ or the Thuringian University and State Library, and probably they have a better translation for this somewhere that I didn't spot. They're providing Koha hosting and support for libraries within their state, and have been doing this since 2023. Since 2014, and since 2023 they are also anchored in the Thuringian Library Act, which is quite an achievement. And they're currently hosting 44 partner institutions. I give you a moment to read the lovely quote. Then there's LMS Cloud, who is a company, and Östen is here to represent them. They were founded in 2016, have nowadays a team of 11 employees, and they're hosting 236 Koha instances. I got these numbers from Roger right after the user meeting, so they're I think, pretty current and quite impressive. One special things they have is like bus stops, so they have like a lot of library buses in there within their customers as well. And the picture disappeared. I'll make sure it's in the final presentation. I hope not all the pictures disappeared, we'll see. I couldn't make a slide for all the Koha libraries we have, but I wanted to pick out some like interesting examples at least. So there is the Goethe Institute. It's the globally active cultural institute of the Federal Republic of Germany. I can't say it. Of Germany, and there's about 100 libraries in 70 different countries. They're pretty special because they're really doing great work, and they also work like with the local communities a lot, and usually provide the catalog in German and the local language. So that means we have to care about a lot of translations at BSZ for them. Like, we're not actively translating all of them, but we've helped them. If they wanted to like completely opaque translations, then we've shown them how to do it. Yeah. And I also love this quote down there, because I think I know the librarian it is from, who said that the day they got Koha was like maybe the best year she had in her work time, which is pretty great. Then there is die GWDG, Gesellschaft für wissenschaftliche Datenverarbeitung Göttingen. This reads a little easy in German for me. They currently support 11 installations, have 5 more currently in migration. They also have a waiting list, I know of, and it's mostly libraries of the Max Planck Society, but also a few others. And the size of the libraries range from 2,000 items to like 1 million bibliographic records. And they were the host of the second Koha Dach Hackfest, and I come back to that a bit later. Then there's the German Archaeological Institute, das Deutsche Archäologische Institut. We've been in contact for many years now, just like consulting and trying to help them with their things. They migrated to Koha during the COVID pandemic, are self-hosted, and they have a lot of special libraries in and outside of Germany. And the focus of their collections is on classical and ancient studies, with a big combined WooFind-based catalog, which is like one of the most important resources for this kind of collections. So I've talked about libraries. I've always wished for a Koha user group in Germany. We're not quite there yet, as we don't have like a formal one, but we do have a website now for the Koha Dach organization team, and we have annual online user meetings. That's one of the positive things that came out of the COVID pandemic, that we couldn't meet in person. We used to try and do something as part of the library conference, but a lot of people can't come there because it's expensive and they can't get the money for that. So we switched to online and have kept it online ever since. We get like about 150 participants for every meeting, so that's pretty great. We are sending out a call for papers, and we've started to actually get papers back now, so it's going well. Our 8th user meeting will be on 12th December, so a week after I get back, and I still have to write a presentation for that. But I usually get to tell about all the new features that are in the new version, so that's a pretty good one, because who doesn't like new shiny things? So it makes everyone happy. The flags remind me to explain what Dach means. Dach is like a standing term for all the German-speaking countries, so we try to include everyone in our meetings. Currently on our organization team, we don't have a Swiss person, so if some Swiss person hears this, we'd like to have you. But we have Germany and Austria represented usually. And Dach also means roof in German, so that's kind of nice as well. So in 2023, the biggest academic library so far went live on Koha, which was the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology with the KIT library. Their main library is open 24/7, so you can go there in the middle of the night, do your self-registration, check out the books at the self-check. You don't need to see anyone to do that. no people involved. They have about 1.5 million bibliographic records for campuses in the city, 195 branches in Koha because there are a lot of faculty libraries as well. They have a very big acquisition budget of 6 million euro, and more than 80% goes to electronic resources. They have been having an e-first strategy for a long time, so if there is an e-book available or an e-journal, they will buy that first before they get the printed one. They were pretty sure the first university library in Germany, like one of our big ones, and they will be the first German Kohacon host. They also sent me a quote about why they chose Koha, so I'll just show that for a second. Because there was an extra slide that I didn't include, they also do a lot of stuff with the Koha APIs. They write their own plugins, like they connected their financial system, SAP, to Koha. They have a key lending machine where you can get a key for a locker, and if you don't return it on time, like you don't reopen the locker in time, you get a fine on your Koha account. So they do a lot of integration stuff as well. And they're also actually the first hosts of the Koha Dach Hackfest. So we have a German-speaking Hackfest as well, which is very similar to the one in Marseille, but held in German. And because we don't want to compete, it's just like a little extra. So we have workshops, discussions, we do a lot of networking, and we go to have like drinks together, what we do here as well. It's more technical and more hands-on than the user meetings, especially for topics that you can't like do well in a presentation, but that work better if you can sit together on a table and look at the laptops. The plan is to have a different host institution every year. So we had the KIT library in Karlsruhe, and we had a very nice meeting in Göttingen this year, and then it will go back to Karlsruhe because it's probably part of Kohacon next year, because otherwise the dates would be too close together, so we just merged them. And the year after, we've already decided that it will be in Reutlingen and probably in Austria after that. So, it seems to be going well, and people seem to want to continue this. Then I wanted to mention another public library. Heilbronn Public Library is using Koha since 2018, actually, with a main library in 2 branches, and they also have a mobile library with 26 bus stops, and they're supported by LMS Cloud. I put them into 2025 because they just won an award, the Library of the Year in Baden-Württemberg, 2025, which is pretty great that the Koha Library won this. And they said, "Happy birthday, Koha, we couldn't have done that without you." And she added she wasn't even lying. I got some pictures from the library, and it's really a nice library. They just had renovated, and I think the renovations turned out really well. Okay. What are challenges we are facing in Germany? German words tend to be way too long to display nicely. So if you have a label that is like this short in English, it might be this long in German, and it might flow over if things are not working right. So we do some CSS customizations just to make things a bit wider in some spots. Nice example is Erinnerungsbenachrichtigung. In the beginning, I had to extend the database field to fit that in because that word was in the database for display. We since moved it to the templates, but I had to make the column bigger. We can nowadays put breakpoints in. Like we can tell the system where the word should break with a hyphen to another line if there's not enough space, but you have to put that explicitly into the translations. It's like a special character that is invisible unless you make the screen smaller, the space is not there. We've just started using that. It's nice, but it's work. For English, you always have like multiple smaller words that automatically break by the space. That doesn't work in German. Another challenge is gender-neutral language, because some want to use it, some others don't. Sometimes we can use words that are just working because they're neutral, but there's also some discussion about how to properly address this issue. Might come that we need to have 2 translations, I don't know, or maybe we can work with one. But it's something that will, I think, be an ongoing topic for a longer time. We usually provide the OPAC in at least German and English. That's our normal. So we have a problem with things that you can only configure in one language. Think of collections, locations, item types are an exception because you can make them multilingual, but that's about the only thing currently from the stuff that is stored in the database. So it would be nice if we got a bit more flexible there. We like, as Germans, our records to be organized in hierarchies. I don't know why, but it's just like that. We did a lot of work to make that display nicely in Koha, and it's gotten better and better, especially since more libraries seem to do the same as us, like the Finnish libraries are working similarly in the cataloging, which helped to get some features in. But it's always fun to get the linkings between the records correctly. I could probably talk more about workflows, like closed stack requests, reading room holds, and so, but then you probably never get tea, so of course we have a feature wish list as well. Translations is just very close to my heart. So where are we today? We have a full translation of Koha itself and most of the menu, thanks to my great coworkers mostly, and some other people in the Koha community, in the German Koha community. We moved from the Koha I18N translate list to the Koha-DE list, which is much easier and more inviting. And it's also not as quiet anymore as it used to be. We have our own German-speaking MetaMost channel. We have annual events and meetings. An upcoming international Koha event I'm very excited about, and you'll learn more about it later in the conference. There have been contributions to Koha development from multiple sources in Germany, like multiple libraries have contributed now, libraries and providers. We have a steady representation of Germans in the Koha release team, thinking of Paul Derscheid, myself, my co-workers, Michaela Sieber. So that's pretty nice to see. We've come to the point where I can say we have a very vibrant and diverse German Koha community. We have a lot of fun when we meet. And I'm very, very happy to see this, and an ever-growing number of happy Koha users. So I wanted to share some more birthday wishes with you. As I sent out a call for materials for this presentation, I got 2 cakes. So the first cake they actually made is like edible paper, like a print of the catalog, and they had it for the Go Live day. And the second cake is even almost nicer because it's the 10-year using Koha cake. So for the 10th birthday of the library system, they had cake and put a little flag on it that says 10 years of Koha. And that made me really happy. So I just got a ticket where she said, hey, we had some cake today. And then when I opened the picture, it was like that. So yeah, what's better than seeing that the libraries you support are really happy about what they're using? And they say it works for them and it helps them to achieve great things, and that in turn makes work fun, right? If you can make a difference. So thank you for listening to me. I hope it was not too bad.